Mona, you're already late for the wedding. Did something happen? Reply to my text if you're alright.
Hi, Nicholas.
Oh, Mona, is everything alright? I was worried because you wouldn't answer my texts, even though today's our wedding.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Let's cancel today's wedding.
What?
Sorry, I'm not going to go to the wedding anymore.
Do you mean that you want to delay the wedding to a later date?
No, I meant that I don't want to have a wedding anymore. Which means that I'm canceling our marriage.
What? Why are you telling me this on the day of the wedding?
It's not my fault. I met him on the day before my life was going to change. The night before our wedding.
Him? You mean that there's another guy?
Oh, I don't want you to misunderstand, but I only started having a relationship with him since last night. It's fine if you need to ask me to pay an alimony, but don't be so shallow as to ask for a huge amount of money just because you're mad.
No matter, just come to the wedding. We need to talk this through in person, not by text.
What? But I don't want to. That's what you're telling me, but in truth, you're planning on doing something crazy like holding me captive and making me sign the marriage papers, right?
I'm not gonna do anything of the sort. If all we were was boyfriend and girlfriend, then it might be enough to agree to break up. But as it stands, we're engaged to each other. Today was even supposed to be our wedding. It's not enough to just agree to break up.
You're just making a big deal out of this, Nicholas. You're at the wedding venue right now. All you have to do is tell everyone that the wedding is cancelled because we broke up. You're making everything so complicated.
I'm not overcomplicating things. You're just taking this too lightly. Besides, who did you cheat on me with anyways? Is it someone I know?
Oh, maybe you do know him.
Who is it?
Do you know Alfred Bird?
Alfred Bird?
Oh, so you do know him.
He's the CEO of the company I used to work at 5 years ago, before I changed jobs.
I see, so that's how you know him. But this just proves that he's much more high-spec than you are. Decided to break up with you and go out with him instead was a wonderful choice.
Is that so? Then fine. Let's break up.
Thanks.
But I understand that you want to break up with me, but you're gonna regret this, you know.
Why would I regret this? I mean, he's the CEO of a company and he's so much more high-spec than you are. What reason would I have to regret it?
Is that so? I'm going to be contacting you in one form or another at a later date to discuss the various procedures and monetary details we have to go through if we're going to cancel the wedding ceremony and the marriage.
What?
I think I'm going to be hiring a lawyer for this.
A lawyer?
I ask for your cooperation.
Hey, wait a minute.
Bye then, Mona.
Hey! Nicholas? Nicholas!
Will you stop that? What are you thinking, sending me like 200 texts?
You knew about this? Did you know that Alfred had a wife and children?
Of course I knew. By the way, the reason he's the CEO now is because he married the daughter of the previous CEO, who is now a member of the board of executives.
Does that mean that if he divorces his current wife and he's no longer going to be CEO?
Probably, yeah. I mean, if he was a good CEO, then he'd probably keep his job, even if he did get divorced, but I doubt the board is going to let someone who just cheats on his wife remain in his position. I guess it's almost 100% chance that he loses his job.
No way! But then that means getting into a relationship with him was pointless.
And?
What?
What's your purpose in telling this to me?
What do you mean, purpose? If you had told me earlier Alfred had a wife and children, this would have never happened.
What? You expected me to tell you after I just found out that you cheated on me with Alfred Bird. I had other things on my mind.
But...
The person who cheats on their partner gets what they deserve. Even if you did never know he had a wife, it's still your responsibility. It's no use complaining to me about it. I'm currently busy talking to a lawyer about what to do about this situation.
Wait, Nicholas!
Bye. What is it now? Will you please stop doing that?
Help me!
Huh?
People are hating on me.
Oh, you mean on your Facebook your friends are bashing you for what you did, right? Yesterday, even though it was the day of the wedding, you posted a bunch of pictures of you and Alfred on your Facebook page, right? You even said something like, I met the high-spec boyfriend of my dreams, so today's wedding's cancelled. This is the beginning of a new love story. And there's no way some random office worker can marry me, because now I'm a gorgeous, luxurious celebrity who's loved by a CEO.
You saw it? You don't do Facebook, right? My account is also locked, so only friends can see my page.
One of your friends sent me a picture with your posts.
Seriously?
Looks like you're getting quite the bashing. Cheater, asshole, slut, no shame, inhuman. Some of them even told you to give back their wedding gifts, right?
You even saw that?
Yeah. The pictures with Alfred you post on your Facebook page and everything related to it is all likely to become proof that you cheated on me. I asked a friend for her cooperation to take a screenshot of everything.
Stop it! It's no use doing something like that to someone you're going to be reunited with, isn't it?
What?
You see, I texted Alfred earlier that I wanted to break up with him, and he agreed to my proposal. Now we can get back together as if nothing ever happened. Then I can post on my Facebook page that the wedding is cancelled anymore. But only delayed, right? Then everyone will probably forgive me.
There's no way your friends are gonna forgive you.
Huh?
I have no intention of getting back together with you. And the hate you brought on yourself is entirely your responsibility. You brought it on yourself. Don't involve me in this. We already broke up. Don't cause me any more problems.
But Nicholas... Nicholas!
These notifications are such a pain in the ass. What is it?
I'm being asked to pay an alimony to Alfred's wife.
What?
I didn't know he had a wife. It's not fair for her to ask me to pay an alimony.
Oh, I think that's the alimony you have to pay for defaming Alfred's wife.
What? What do you mean, defamation?
I heard that during yesterday's commotion on your Facebook page, you tried to calm everyone down by explaining your actions, but it ended up having the opposite effect and made everyone even more angry. I heard from one of your friends that you insulted Alfred's wife during this explanation of yours.
But only my friends can see my Facebook page. How did Alfred's wife find out about this?
What? You seriously don't know who Alfred's wife is yet?
What is it?
Alfred's wife is Carol, the person we used to go to university with. After she graduated university, she went on to work at her father's company. That's where she fell in love with Alfred. It's workplace romance, apparently.
Are you serious? What are the chances of something like this happening?
You've been connected on Facebook with Carol since university, right? No wonder she found out so soon. She must have been shocked when she checked her Facebook feed and saw a picture of you and her husband yesterday, which was supposed to be the day of your wedding. Wonder what she thought when she read what you had to say.
No way!
By the way, I'm not an expert in such matters, but don't people have to provide an explanation as why they're asking for an alimony when they ask someone for an alimony? Didn't you get some sort of explanation that came with the notice?
Well, I guess there was an explanation. There was a sort of letter that came with it, you see? There was a bunch of jibber-jabber written on it. But I didn't have Carol in mind at that time, so I just panicked and none of it really entered my head. So maybe everything was written on that letter. I don't get any of this.
Yeah, I don't get any of this either.
What do you mean by that?
I don't really see the point in you telling me all this. I'm begging you, stop contacting me and figure things out with the people involved, because I'm not one of them. You're being a pain in the ass.
Hey, Nicholas! What is the money you're making me pay? What do you mean $50,000? This amount of money just for the alimony of a marriage cancellation is too much no matter how you look at it.
So you're contacting me again without fully understanding the situation.
What?
That money isn't just the alimony for the marriage cancellation. It also includes the cancellation fee for the wedding ceremony and the cancellation fee for the honeymoon we had planned as well.
Huh? I'm paying for it even though it was cancelled?
Of course you are. Everything was already prepared at the wedding ceremony. You just suddenly canceled on the day of the wedding. That's why they're making you pay the full price, since it was only canceled because of you in the first place.
No way!
I'm going to tell you this, so you know, that this is something that your parents decided.
What?
I don't know how much they told you, but apparently they're going to make you pay for as much as possible. And your father is going to pay for the rest. The remaining amount, the one your father paid, will be your debt to him. And he said he's going to make you pay for all of it, no matter what.
What? Hold on! It's $50,000, right? I have to pay Carol money as well. That amount of money!
Talk to your parents about it, not me. I don't care where the money comes from as long as everything's paid for.
What do you mean you don't care? You're so mean! Try to put yourself in my shoes. Taking a debt is serious even if it's from your parents.
Didn't I already tell you this before? The person who cheats gets what they deserve, whether they asked for it or not.
But...
Well then, I think it's time for me to block you.
Huh?
I only didn't block you until now simply because I didn't want to lose contact with you before I could send my lawyer.
Nicholas?
That being said, please talk to my lawyer from now on. I'm blocking you now. Goodbye.
Nicholas!
Just like that, I was finally free from the storm of notifications Mona kept sending me. Thank God. I got the alimony I asked from Alfred as well, so I'm done with him as well. Right after the incident, Carol divorced Alfred and he lost his position as CEO as well. Apparently, they allowed him to have a job as a regular employee at the customer support department, so that he can pay for his children's child support. As for Mona, I was worried she would try to barge into my house, but it seems her parents were keeping an eye on her, so nothing in particular has happened. They did this and that, and at the end of the day, it was decided that she would work at a construction company based far away and live at a company-owned dormitory. Her parents told me that it's a place that has strict surveillance of its employees, so she's sure not to bother you again. Seems like I can finally go back to my old, peaceful life.
Good morning, all you people way down there on the 3rd floor. Is it going to be possible for you to all pay the building maintenance fee early this month? What maintenance fee? This is the first I've heard about a fee like that. Don't go pleading ignorance. Come on, you agreed to the rules when you moved into this building. We agreed to the rules, yes. I've got the contract in front of me, but it doesn't say anything about paying a building maintenance fee. It's an unwritten rule we all decided on. By we, I mean us residents living on the top floors. We decided the fee was necessary to maintain the good reputation of our building in this neighborhood. Everyone living on the bottom 3 floors is required to pay every month. You should set up an automatic payment so I don't have to ask every month. What the? That's ridiculous. All of you living down there at the bottom probably didn't get the memo, but it's common practice in such high-rise condominiums. I've never heard of such a thing, and I've got plenty of friends living in similar places all up and down the East Coast. They do. You just don't have much experience living in such a place. It explains why you were unaware of this kind of system. That may be so, but I can assure you other places don't have that kind of system. It's extortion. You can't just decide to collect money from people. The building administrator hasn't said anything. How long has this been going on? I only moved into the building last month, so this is the first time. And you've convinced everyone else? I find it hard to believe that they'd all agree. Some of the people living here moved in as soon as it was built. And what about those who are renting? You're effectively raising their rent. Yes, everyone else has agreed. They can clearly see the need for building maintenance, and they've all paid already. I find that hard to believe. Are you telling me old Mr. Wilson in 205 just agreed? He would argue the color of the sky just for the sake of having an argument. Mr. Wilson not only agreed, but he offered to go and bang on doors to help with the collection this month. In fact, you are the only one complaining about it. I bet they think it's for something else. Maybe everyone thinks it's just a one-off payment. You'll have a lot of convincing to do if you expect to make it a regular monthly payment. If you refuse to pay, then you'll have to vacate the building. What right do you have to kick me out of this building? You yourself just moved in last month, you said. What right? I certainly have a lot more rights than those of you living way down on the 3rd floor. Oh, and you'll have to stop using the elevator. And now you're banning the use of the elevator? Who do you think you are? You can't just do what you want. Go on, humor me. Why am I not allowed to use the elevator? This should be good. Okay, I'll lay it out nice and simply for you so there aren't any misunderstandings. It goes without saying that the people living on the top floors are wealthy. They paid more for their condo, or they are paying much higher rent. It also goes without saying that they are extremely important and busy people. They are busy running companies or doing open heart surgery. They aren't doing menial and pointless jobs like those of you down on the lower floors. People up here are saving lives and making decisions that decide the future course of the country. So we need to be able to make use of the elevator unmolested by you commoners down there. That doesn't make any sense. Sounds like you're just trying to boss everyone around. Who died and made you king? Oh dear. I guess to someone just barely making ends meet like you, the lives of us way up on the top floors must be the subject of a lot of jealousy. I wish I could do something about it, but my hands are tied. Wow. Such delusions of grandeur. This is a serious case. You need to get help. Anyway, you can do what you like, but I won't stop using the elevator. Your place is only 3 floors up. You'd use the elevator to go up 3 measly floors and inconvenience all the people wanting to use it? Typical poor people. Always wanting something for nothing. Always with your hand out. You probably sit around all day doing nothing. The exercise will do you good. No, in fact, if you must know, I'm pregnant. I'll be using the elevator for the safety of my baby. How would you feel if I slipped on the stairs and lost the baby? It would be your fault. Oh, so you lie about all day, complaining about how life is so unfair, and as soon as you get pregnant, you become all high and mighty? Shall we roll out the red carpet from the parking lot to your front door? You know nothing about me. How can you make such sweeping assumptions about me? I've seen you walking from the entrance to your cheap old car. That's all I need to know. And your husband looks just as bad. Really low level. But you probably suit each other. A bottom-dwelling couple. You've really tried to make a big leap up in status, haven't you? Moving into such an expensive building. Even down at your level, it must have broken the bank, no? You guys are adorable. Well, if you've seen me, you would have noticed I was pregnant. No? Pregnant or not, people living on the lower floors are forbidden from using the elevator. It's the courteous thing to do, not to mention common sense. Only those of us living on the upper floors have permission to use it. You really are a nasty piece of work, aren't you? I'll remember this. Oh, the poor little dog is barking at me.
Hey, Naomi. It's true. I asked a few of the other residents, and that horrible woman has been collecting fees from people. Some paid and some flat out refused. So she was lying when she told you were the only one questioning it.
I knew it! But why would the others just cough up money? Whichever way you look at it, she's just demanding money that we've never had to pay in the past.
She told everyone that there was a meeting with the owner.
Well, you're the owner. So it was your idea to make everyone on the 3rd floor and below pay an additional fee, was it?
Yeah, right. Do you think I'd go and do something like that? I'm as angry about this as you. She's made it all up. I spoke to a few members of the residence committee and they were livid.
So, what are you going to do?
I'm going to kick her out. I'll need to find out who is paid and compensate them. That's going to be a headache. There are over 200 families in this building. I wonder if she gave them receipts.
That will give her the wake-up call she deserves. Hey, do you think she's done this before at other places? I might do a little digging.
Maybe. She probably doesn't realize it yet, but she's made enemies of a lot of people. I'll also try and speak with her husband. Apparently, he's on the board of a big energy company, so hopefully he'll be able to view this objectively. God, I hope he's not the one egging her on.
Yeah, I'd be careful. He might be worse than her. Some of those executive types can be pretty cutthroat.
I met them both in passing the other day. They both seemed really nice. Very polite. She probably just acts that way in front of her husband.
That doesn't sound like her. She's an ogre to people when she's texting them. Well, to me anyway. I'll send you screenshots of the text now. She's got absolutely zero sympathy for me in my state.
I'm willing to bet she hasn't told her husband about collecting maintenance fees. Strange. You'd think with a job like his, she wouldn't need to demand money from people. Maybe she just wants to lord it over people? A bit of a megalomaniac.
Maybe he doesn't let her have access to any money? Hey, maybe she's a gambling addict and needs the extra cash to pay mob debts.
I suppose anything is possible. But I'll talk to him. The imagination is an amazing thing if you let it run wild. Best to just get the full story from the source. Oh, I just read that back and forth with her you sent. Jeez, she's got it in for you. She sounds like a horribly exaggerated woman from one of those Real Housewives reality shows.
Yeah, but they actually exist in real life too. I hope you can put her in her place. I've only been back in the country for a couple of months, and this is the welcome I get from my fellow Americans. Talk about reverse culture shock. I hope it goes well with her husband.
Leave it to me. I feel bad. I didn't really think too much about the implications of living on the 3rd floor. I just thought we'd be up high enough to be out of the prying eyes of people at street level, but not too high up that we couldn't get out quickly down the stairs if we needed to. We could have moved into an opening on the 30th floor, but I thought the convenience of the 3rd floor would outweigh the view. With the baby coming soon, I didn't want you to be stranded in the lobby area waiting for an elevator forever. And when the kid is old, he or she can walk up the stairs to our place after school. Then suddenly we become victims of this bizarre discrimination. What would you call it? Heidism? Right. Anyway, sorry you had to be drawn into this. I'll sort it out, I promise.
It's so ridiculous. I don't need the extra stress. It's hard enough with the baby kicking like a champion and keeping me awake most nights. What the hell does it matter what floor you live on anyway? She's probably just a bored housewife with an elitist complex. I wonder if she has ever done a day of work in her life. Just shows that she lacks humanity. Probably doesn't have any friends.
Yeah, I agree.
Hey, Naomi! What What's the meaning of that notice on my door? It says my condo is up for rent. We live there. Explain yourself. What? Why are you asking me? Don't pretend to be innocent. I know it was you. You were loitering around my floor, no doubt. And the lock has been changed. What is going on? Oh dear. It would seem that you are no longer welcome in this building. Who gave you the right to decide such a thing? If you don't fix this immediately, I'm calling the police. Really? Well, if you think you'll get anywhere, go ahead. You really think I won't? Don't test me. I'll have you know my husband is on the board of one of the biggest corporations in this city. He's next in line to be the president. Do you really want to make enemies out of him and his wife? You don't know what you're getting yourself into. No. Michael Monroe? Of Black River Industries? Of course I know who he is. I read an article about him in a business magazine. Yes, and you dare to pick a fight with someone like him? You've got a lot of nerve. We will bury you in legal fees and court appearances. You know what? I've had enough of you and your little games. I'm calling my husband right now. Your days are numbered. Go right ahead. Although... Yes? What is it? Spit it out. Your last words. Well, I think it only fair to warn you that it was your husband who made the decision to kick you out of the building. Not me. What on earth are you talking about? Yeah, I told him you were illegally demanding money from people on the lower floors as some kind of maintenance just for poor people. That's what you said it was, right? He was absolutely mad with rage. Oh, so you obviously haven't seen him today, have you? I'd steer clear of him for a while. He's furious. How dare you spout such garbage at me? You may be a lazy good-for-nothing bottom dweller, but your imagination is certainly working at full speed. What a load of nonsense. Nonsense? I have not been demanding money illegally. I was merely acting on the instructions of the owner. The owner? Really? Yes. He told me he was thinking of making some improvements in order to increase the comfort of the residents and also raise the value of the building itself. But all these things cost a lot of money. I was in full agreement and took it upon myself to start collecting the money needed for such a renovation. So tell your husband that. See what he says. Tell him your attempt to extort money from me and the other bottom dwellers was on the orders of the owner. I don't need you telling me what to do. I'll tell my husband exactly that. He'll unleash hell on you and your family when I tell him how you've spread fake news and spurious accusations about me. This is an open and shut case of defamation of character. I won't stand for it. I'll see that you face the full consequences of your deceitful actions. Fine. Hurry up and call him already. Let me know what he says. I'm calling him right now. Just you wait. He won't get away with this. He'll be sorry. Mark my words. I've been informed that your husband is the owner of this building. Oh, is that what your husband said? It must have come as a bit of a shock. How are you taking it? But you're right. My husband is indeed the owner of this building. From the low-life scum on the bottom floors to the wealthy and extremely important on the top floors. That can't be right. I heard that the owner had emigrated and was no longer in the country. I thought the housing company was dealing with the maintenance. That was the plan originally. I was happily planning to raise our kids where we were, but things happened and we ended up moving back to the good old US of A. It's good to be home and feel that neighborly love. Don't mock me! You've just admitted that you thought the owner was living abroad. You used his name without permission to try and make some free money for yourself. And I've got all the evidence I need in this WhatsApp conversation. Not as smart as you think, are you? You really are a piece of work. It's no wonder your husband hit the roof. He won't be able to show his face in the building. This isn't happening. You! What did your husband say? Did he take your side? Did he call his army of lawyers and swing into action? Should I be worried? He won't listen to a word I say. He just said to get out. He'll send my things when I have a new address. If that's what he says, then that's what you should do. Pack up and get out. What did you say about his lawyers? Something about unleashing hell? I wouldn't want to face that. I'd make myself scarce. And Cynthia, I asked around a bit about you. A friend of a friend lives in the building you used to live in. He says you caused a hell of a problem for the residents there, too. If I were your husband, I'd kick you out, too. He's relatively well known, especially in this city. Sounds like he's run out of patience with you rustling feathers everywhere you go.
Do you think I'd have any chance in court against him?
How would I know? Does he have a history of domestic violence? Anything like that? But I'll tell you this for free. There ain't no one that's going to stand up for a woman who extorts money from other residents so she can blow it on gambling and toy boys. That alone is enough to see you go to prison.
How do you know about that?
So it's true? Wow, that was an easy confession. I was only throwing out wild theories to see what would make you bite. Damn, that was easy. You know me and my wild imagination. But this time I was bang on the money. Geez, Cynthia. I figured you for an absolute monster of a woman, but I didn't think I would be right. You really are a piece of human garbage.
So you were just setting me up to get me to confess? You weasel of a woman!
I'd rather be a weasel than a monster. I had nothing to lose. I wondered why the wife of a rich business executive would need to try and force people to give her money. I imagined a few different scenarios, even a few where you were the victim. But there's no helping you. You are going down. He'll take you to the cleaners. Woman to woman, though, and I shouldn't be saying this, but if I were you, I'd take what I could get my hands on and run for the hills. Try and start again somewhere.
I can't take anything! I can't even get into the condo. The locks are changed and the windows are all barred. This is all your fault! If you'd just kept your mouth shut, none of this would have happened.
Me? How the hell can this be my fault?
I didn't know your damn husband was the owner, did I? Had I known, I would have left you alone and you'd have been none the wiser.
What's the point? It would have been found out eventually. Someone would have come to my husband and complained. You can't just create a fake fee and suddenly expect people to pay it without raising suspicion. And you had better make sure you pay everyone back when you apologize.
This is all you're doing. I've done nothing wrong. You've twisted it to make me look like the bad guy.
Stop with the poor me, boo-hoo, sob story. You most certainly are not the victim here, and you know it. Or if you really don't see that, you need more than a lawyer to help you. I'd go for pills and a straitjacket.
You just stay right where you are. I'm going to your place right now to teach you a lesson.
Cut that out, Cynthia. You'd come down here to physically threaten a pregnant woman? I won't open the door whatever happens. In fact, I don't feel safe with such an unhinged woman on the loose in the building. I'm going to call the police.
You just wait right there, you piece of trash.
Cynthia, I've called the police and they're on the way. Just give up and go back upstairs to wait for your husband. The damage you've done to the door will cost a lot to fix. You're just adding willful damage to extortion and whatever else you've done that's about to catch up with you.
You shut your damn mouth, you horrible woman! This is entirely your fault! Get out here, now! Come out and face me!
Hey, Cynthia. The cops have just pulled up downstairs. This is the 3rd floor, so they'll be up in no time. Shouldn't you hightail it out of here?
I'll make you pay for this! Every last one of you! Remember this! I'll be back!
Whatever. Just get out of here. Oh, and hey! Criminals don't have permission to use the elevator! After that, Cynthia was arrested and hauled away by the police. Although she somehow managed to avoid a prison term, she was given a suspended sentence and made to pay hefty legal fees. She also had to make regular payments to the building residents she had coerced money out of. Of course, her husband divorced her. She lost custody of her children as well. She lost all her possessions and every last friend and family member who had stood by her the last few times she had gotten in trouble. I guess there is a limit, even for family. Her parents, worried that she might hurt herself and others, decided to take her back to their place in the country. Apparently, she's living a heavily sedated but harmless existence in the countryside and seeing a psychiatrist a few times a week. As soon as she left the building, it went back to how it was before. The money for the maintenance fee was returned, and everyone is allowed to use the elevator. The biggest source of friction went back to being old Mr. Wilson in room 205, stopping residents in the lobby and lecturing anyone who'll listen about the evils of modern society.